Hey guys, I'm Camille.
And I'm JP.
And we're the Cardonas. And today we're so excited that we get to share our love story with you guys because we're always hearing your love stories, and today we're going to share ours with you.
I knew Camille was the one at a point when I moved away from Miami to Pennsylvania. I think that was in 2012, 2011. I moved away and I had been hanging out with her a lot when I lived here in Miami. So when I went away and I, started realizing what she meant in my life is when I was like, okay, I got to do something that kind of, seals the deal here.
For me, it was a little bit more vivid. I had a memory. My family and I went to visit JP when he had moved to Pennsylvania for Christmas. And we were in a car, like in a van, and sitting in the back. And there was a moment, it was like a really tender moment. We were still friends, but we were just so close, and I just felt so comfortable with you. And it was like the end of a long day. We had walked through New York City, and I just like rested my head on his shoulder. And I remember like in that moment, I just like knew this meant more than a friendship. This meant more than I just knew you were gonna be someone important to me. And from that moment on, I had so much peace in my heart.
Our story began in 1995, I believe.
Yeah.
Our families were very close at that time, and her mom started coming to the church where I was a part of, and that's when we met.
We've known each other for like 20-something years now.
Yeah, as we started growing up, her and I started connecting more.
It all happened in good old Facebook. I was graduating high school, and you were on your way to get your second degree in Boston. And so it was like a way for us to keep in touch. And I remember I was like, this is different, like the way that we would communicate, but it wasn't, but it was. It felt different. And that's kind of how our relationship blossomed.
When I was living in Pennsylvania around 2012, they all came to visit me, her family with my families, and then we drove to Canada. And there it was like, okay, I think I am going to just ask her the question. We had been friends for so long and our families had been close for so long. One day I asked her if we could go to dinner, like that night that we were in.
Mind you, we had just stuffed our faces in like an all-you-can-eat buffet, and he's like, do you want to go to dinner? And I was like, oh, what?
Fancy dinner.
And a fancy dinner.
In all of this, I was like extremely nervous because I didn't want to ruin like a relationship of such good friendship if, she didn't feel the same way I did.
And you were always really comfortable with me. And so, I was just like, what's going on?
That's why I was so nervous because, I was thinking, this is how I feel. Interesting enough, before we went inside our rooms, which was the same room because we were all sleeping in the same room, I was like, oh, I got to talk to you about something. And I just said,
yeah, he talked to me in the hallway. After he had paid for
forget the fancy dinner, forget everything, none of that happened.
He was just like, wait, you can't go inside.
You can't go inside. And then I just kind of told her, I just want to talk to you about whatever. So then her response was the best because she just came in, she just embraced me, she hugged me. So we just stayed there talking.
We were both so awkward that just even looking at him while he told me that, it was like, I'd rather just hug you and be together than you see my face and I see your face. So it's just like that thing where a really good friend transitions to becoming your boyfriend. And I was just like, is this really happening? But yeah, it was really sweet. We decided that same night, he actually told me. He was like, I want to guard our first kiss for our wedding day. And I was so happy about that because I had never kissed anybody, and I was just like, this is a weight and a pressure that was off of us. And that's something I always loved about our relationship. We got to know each other for each other rather than for our bodies and for those type of things. So there was a lot of no pressure on each other. So I feel we were just really good friends. We had a strong relationship before getting to the physical aspect of stuff. And so our first kiss was on our wedding day.
Because I knew her so well and I knew her heart and I knew just where she was at. I've always been really respectful of how she felt through the process. Like, I knew her since she was a 3-year-old, like I said, and I was also 10. But I also knew what our desires for marriage were, and this aspect, I felt that it was something that to her was like kind of like a big move, and I wanted her to feel comfortable, and I wanted us to feel comfortable.
The day of the proposal, it was so funny from like the moment I woke up. I felt silly, like I think any other girl does, when you start kind of hyping yourself up and you're like, he's gonna propose, and then you're like, but what if he doesn't, you know? And so I was kind of like gauging the situation and everything, and we went up the Eiffel Tower. We like waited in line, got up the Eiffel Tower, and I'm like, my heart is like beating. I'm like, he's gonna propose, and then he doesn't. So I was like, okay, now I feel so stupid. And so we go down the Eiffel Tower. Like, nobody really knows this, but I'm like feeling like, oh man, like defeat, you know? And then we go to like the area of the gardens of the Eiffel Tower, where you like see the Eiffel Tower in the back. And there, I'm just like already not even thinking he's gonna propose or anything. And then he's like, oh, let's take some pictures here. That was his thing. He's like, let's take some pictures here. I'm like, okay, cool, let's take pictures. And we used to do like this pose where we just walk, like in every photo. And then he was like, let's do a jumping one. And I'm like, okay. And we start jumping and doing like that cheesy tourist thing, like where you're jumping in the photo. And then he lands on his knee. And so
On purpose, obviously.
And then my reaction is like, I literally tell him, I'm like, are you crazy? Like, because I thought he popped his knee or something. I wasn't like in the moment of like what is happening. And then all of a sudden I start like getting in the moment, because everybody who was on the tour with us, they were like, oh my God,
Because I already had the ring in my hand at that point.
And all this stuff. And then he has a ring, and then his hand is like trembling like that. And I'm just like, what is going on? And then, yeah, I think I said yes.
She never said yes.
But I meant to say it, so. I don't know, a lot of people don't even talk about this, but wedding days can be a blur. It goes by so quickly, and you've been planning and preparing so much for it, and then all of a sudden it's here, and you have all these emotions and all these things. But I loved our first look. After that, we just felt so comfortable.
Yeah.
So it made me feel just so at ease, and so like, okay, this is why I'm getting married with this person. The qualities that I love about JP is his patience, and especially with me. And he's very caring. He cares about what I say and how I feel.
My favorite qualities about Camille, wow, there's a lot. But I think one of them, anybody that knows her, she's someone that thinks of others before herself very often. And obviously in marriage that is key, because I feel that if we both kind of think of the other more than we think about each other, you know, we're set up for success. And she is obviously beautiful.
Oh. So we've officially been married 5.5 years now, and it's been an amazing experience and journey and just process of growing together. And one of the biggest things that has helped us grow has been working together with this business, the Cardonas, being able to serve couples who are in our same shoes or in the same shoes where we were not too long ago, and where, you know, we can understand them, and like we've just grown so much through that experience, and we're just excited to continue growing.
Yeah, so we've told you guys a little bit about our story, and we can't wait to tell your story through photos and video.